This week on And You Don't Stop, we talk to Pocho, a liberation photographer doing amazing work at Homeboy Industries. On a special Rooftop Live, we got Chris Rivers, the son of legendary Bronx MC Big Pun, with a live set from Boogie Mics. We met the homie Pocho1 back in 2011, and since then, we are amazed by his work and how much his visual documentation enhances the social movements of today.
So I was born here in Oxnard, California. It was it's a strawberry community where they pick strawberries. Both my parents worked for the United Farm Workers. So I grew up, my parents organizing workers, their own union, grassroots union. And I grew up in Communist Party meetings. I grew up in union organizing meetings. I grew up in negotiations, strike lines, and at the same time, while it was really positive in my life, there was parts of it that were negative, because I didn't grow up the same as everybody else, like I didn't grow up playing soccer or I don't know, going to after school programs or things like that. Like me being half Irish, half Mexican, everybody calls me Pocho1, but my real name is Salvador Sanchez Strawbridge. So every time in class they'd say Salvador, they a lot of times knocked out the Sanchez, of course, and just said Salvador Strawbridge. And just that name, first you're waiting for Salvador Sandoval or Sanchez or whatever, Rodriguez or something, but then you hear Strawbridge, and so the white folks are like, he's not one of us, and the Mexicans are like, he's brown, but that last name don't sound like one of us. So I never fit, Eventually I started to build resentments, So the neighborhood was calling me, and I joined my neighborhood at 11 years old, the Pee Wee Gang, and then I was one of the youngest people at the time to join my actual neighborhood at 15 years old. I gangbanged with the best of them. I didn't think it was real because I think I wasn't fully in. I was kind of half-stepper. I really liked making money. It traumatized me. It left me with a lot of scars. I risked my life a lot when I shouldn't have. I lost homies. I got all the resume that I guess a gang member has, I'm real close to my neighborhood. I'm still from there. I still visit it often. But it wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. And the funny part is a lot of people think do or die, blood in, blood out. My homies were supportive, They wanted me to go drink. They would get mad at me when I come back to the neighborhood, So this idea jumping out, I was never jumped out. People don't get jumped out. You just kick back, Gangs are what you make of it. And every situation is different. There's pressure, there's sometimes resentment that you're making it or something. I don't know. Everybody's different. But speaking for me, 99% of the homies were supportive of me wanting to change my life. So I moved away, went to college, didn't know nothing about school, but that's where I found activism. That's where I found Mecha, Movimiento Estudiantil Chicano de Aztlán, the Chicano student movement of Aztlán. That was the place where I started seeing people from all different shapes and sizes of our community working together. It was a mass movement. You could be there to do a Cinco de Mayo thing, Mexican independence thing, to being a communist, Marxist type, real leftist. So we had the broad spectrum of people. 2008, they gave me a camera to be historian, we call art historian, not his story, our story. Facebook came around. I was late to Facebook. I think I got Facebook 2009, 2010 or something. People started tagging each other. They started having me come in for events and ceremonies. And then I started to really understand the power of photography and what it can do for our community. This photography is born in the community. It was born with people that gave me cameras to do it. It was born, because I wanted to tell my story and the story of my homies. And the story of activists and the people with their parents and the trippy ass life of an activist, And I wanted to tell the story of my parents. I wanted to tell the story of my homies. I wanted to tell the story of the people directly around me. I wasn't going off and being a paparazzi and going off into communities and shooting and then taking those images and taking them back into the corporation. I was taking that shit back to my house, into my computer, in my hood, my stuff, and throwing it back on our page, to show the world who we were, I document, the movement. I document people thinking that they're not, people struggle, real struggle, people thinking that they're not gonna fucking win, but they're gonna fight anyway, you feel me? And that's the kind of things that I document. And I've been watching it my whole life. I've been seeing it, and I can, my point of view changed from how tall I got. And now I'm here, but, I've been watching it my whole life, so I was ready for this my whole life. And now, I just document, and I feel before I was a speaker and organizer and all that, and that's cool too. But I like my position now as the person that kickbacks and documents, and I feel I speak through my lens, than necessarily through my mouth.
I'm here with hip hop royalty. You know what I'm saying? We in the South Bronx, and if anybody, you know what I'm saying, that knows hip hop from the Bronx, you know about Big Pun, and this is an honor. You know what I'm saying? We with you know what I'm saying, his son, Chris Rivers. But I'm gonna keep it 100. You mad nice just on your own. Like, folks, you know what I mean? I know other MCs, you know, that they got kids and all that, and no knock on them, but you mad, like, even if you wasn't Pun's son, I'd be like, son is nice, you know what I mean? So I want to be clear about that off top. We're not just on some, it's not just the legacy, it's the legacy that's being upheld, which is a big difference, you know what I mean? So tell us, man, tell us about what's going on with Chris Rivers in 2015.
Oh man, I mean, so far it's been a beautiful year. I mean, I saw you out in South by Southwest. It was glorious. We did that whole event, and then you know, I just came from Sway this morning. We did the Lock show last night. We got a few projects coming out. You know what I'm saying? An individual one for myself, and then we got stuff with, you know, Styles P and the Locks coming out, and a bunch of features. You know what I'm saying? Like with Nitty and a bunch of other people too. So it's just a big move year. You know what I'm saying? So the connections are getting bigger. A lot of the media buzz and everything's just going really awesome. So yeah.
Tell me about, you know, I grew up in Chicago, so I've been out here 11 years, but tell me about, like, coming up in the South Bronx with the legacy that you know what I'm saying, that you got. Tell me how that process was growing up in this area.
Oh man, it was interesting because I wasn't the type to be like, hey, how you doing, Chris, Big Pun son. Like I wasn't like, you know, I'm not super like, hey, I'm this. So I always kept it on the low, but always got, you know, recognized, and certain people saw me, and it was always weird. Like I had to figure out who my real friends were, how, you know what I'm saying, like always got to keep an eye out for niggas plotting, because people always thought we had more than what we actually had, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, people don't know the actual situation of how we grew up, whether it be homeless in a shelter, and they think that, oh, this is Big Pun's son, he must have millions. Let me, you know what I'm saying? So always got to be alert. But it was, the culture itself is crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like hip hop was always strong, a lot of love, regardless of, you know, even the bad stuff was even less, but a lot of love, you know what I'm saying? So just growing up around hip hop, I always felt like I needed to do this. Like there was something like I always knew I needed to do. And after I graduated from high school, I went to Lima right there on Tremont, you know what I'm saying? After I graduated from high school, it was just a matter of like, I didn't even go straight, I went straight to the music, like not even college, just straight to the music. And now I'm here, and it's been progressing, and it's been a grind, but it's dope. It's dope, and I'm doing it for my city, and it's lovely.
I wanna pay some quick homage to my pops, and I'm gonna let y'all do the words. Let's see how many can sing along to this shit. Let's go. Y'all know this shit, right? Y'all know this shit, right? Let's get it. Everybody
ready for war, Joe. How you
wanna blow these spot?
I know these dirty cops.
That'll get us in a few murders of what?
Hop in your helmet, the
Punish is ready.
Meet me and Beatles with noodles, we do this do
All this love is spaghetti.
Everybody
Hit the fucking floor. Fuck them all.
They move noodles, shoot that fucking whore.
That in the middle of Little Italy. Little did we know that we riddled to middleman who didn't do diddly. Ah! Yo, let's get it. Y'all turn NBX. Let's go! 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 Yeah! You said I couldn't rock, nigga! You said I wasn't hot, nigga! You said I ain't on top, nigga! Alright, here we go! Alright, here we go! You said I couldn't spit, nigga! Alright! You said I ain't the shit, nigga! You said this ain't a hit, nigga! Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. Check the credentials. My shit is existential. Essential to raise the mentals. Where we're golden. Shizzle this on the ground. I define you predict the hand right. Prophesize the side of my MCs because these men nice. Blue pill niggas refuse this new deal. Further down the rabbit hole and prove that rivers do. The weak minds at these times. We find that these lines from these rhymes is refined. Always in design of the rap game. I rewind. It's not the reverse. It's that pig Latin. I rap and put a hex on the earth. That's in the first. Phoenix from birth. Put an end to your search. Searching for what's worth it, so you rapping is dirt. And we the beat. Yeah, but we rap bigger than the whole damn ozone and the T-Rex. Spitting green tents, quitters screaming we next figures out. Now you run your strikes to see what we. But it's the dragons up, we pack a punch and smash a bunch of amateurs. After all we handle us, we're laughing for the cameras. You want the balances, you simply like the stamina. Rivers running super deep this year, so mark the calendars. You said I couldn't rock, nigga. Alright. You said I wasn't hot, nigga. Alright. You said I ain't on top, nigga. Alright. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. You said I couldn't spit, nigga. Alright, here we go. You said I ain't the shit, nigga. Alright, here we go. You said this ain't a hit, nigga. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. guys are pretty fucking cool, man. Make some noise for yourselves. One time. Real quick, we gonna